book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
This is Roll Call Friday. What is up, Brigade? Welcome into the most fun day of the week.
Is it?
It is.
It is.
Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault, as we come to you each and every Friday. RCF, which you guys have taken over. Look, when Dave said this, I think you called Roll Call Friday out like the second month of the show.
Yep.
This is episode 299. So probably somewhere around episode like 30, maybe 40. You said, why don't we do a thing every Friday? Because people are in the chat. Why don't we do a thing called Roll Call Friday where I'm going to go through the chat and I'm going to yell out who's here.
Yeah.
Did not expect it to become a thing where we have a Roll Call Friday thread on the Discord channel because so many people are doing their own Roll Call Friday videos that in order for Mikey Awesome to get them all, he can't keep track of all of them.
Yeah.
So now he's asking for, or SoCal DGen set it up, where now we have a thread in the Discord channel, bvbshow.com/chat, to come on in and be a part of that. So now people are just populating. They're putting their videos, their own Roll Call Fridays into the chat, into the Discord channel.
How good is this? How good is this?
It's unbelievable.
We got people in Pittsburgh like Raymaker 512 doing his own Roll Call Friday videos. We got Dan in Tennessee, all oranged up with the orange glasses, the orange Tennessee.
Yeah.
He even had a juice hat. I don't even know where he got that thing, but he had it on his head.
You can buy
doing a Roll Call Friday, welcome video. We've had production guys like
Sonic does videos and memes.
Sonic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's happening every single week. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then to watch the chat roll is awesome. And it's on the screen. If you're watching on Sports Grid, how are you guys on a Friday? If you guys are watching live on YouTube or Twitter, we often say this. If you aren't part of the show, and if you guys are on Twitter, I get it. Sometimes it's easier to watch the show on Twitter. But if you ever have the time to slip over to the YouTube channel, just being in the chat is something that Dave's daughter, my daughter, like the kids are in it. It's just a really cool thing to be a part of. If you haven't,
they're not in it today. They're at school.
Thank
they
goodness.
Better not be in that shit today.
No, thank goodness. No, but they're in there. So you guys can, RCF has become a really big and fun thing for us. It's a countdown. It's a really neat thing. And this is episode 299 for us. Monday will be episode 300. And it's neat. It's very neat.
Amazing. And like for you guys that are here right now, I'm going to just do a quick, president accounted for first at the top of the show, and then we'll meet it in the middle. We got a couple guests today. Perrault, we got Zach from Wager Wire coming on. We got Nick Kalakis, the odds maker down at Circa for the UFC, which we are now credentialed media people. I'm going to the fights tomorrow. I can't believe it. It's going to be so much
I can't wait to watch your reaction to the whole thing. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Psyched.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Before we start, I mean, Farra put together an unbelievable video kind of commemorating our basically, just travels.
Well, just people.
Yeah,
like it was just people we've had on the air. It was like it was a nice little quick walk down memory lane with Chris Andrews, or our recent talk with Derek Stevens. Just a cool little snapshot of what we've done,
of everything in between. And there was the trip to the Super Bowl, and then this year's Super Bowl. LA first, Phoenix this year, and Pat McAfee and the boys and Tone and Gumpy and everybody's showing in there. AJ Hawk and I'm not dropping names, and you guys can pick them up if I drop them. You guys pick us up every day right here on the show. So if you haven't seen it, we posted on all our socials. If you're not following at Boston versus the Book on Twitter, or at least in the Discord, Perrault, tell them the Discord channel.
BVBshow.com/chat.
Thank you, sir.
BVBshow.com/chat.
And again, let's roll it back quick right now before we get started so we can get right to it and get Zach ready to come in quick. Whitrock holding it down in Iowa. Listen, today when you come in, please put where you're from.
So we are going to do the Dan Patrick name weight.
No. Just put your name where you're from in the chat because I'm going to give them the names real quick. We got Kevin Whitrock, Roger Long, Mikey Awesome, of course, Chef Benny, Gentle Condor. Welcome, sir. Haven't seen you before, but congratulations to you as well. Josh Garland, Butta Hall, Kyle Meyer, Sonic, as always, brother. Thank you, sir. Get that hat put together, whatever you want. You got one coming.
Jim Montgomery, the coach of the Bruins. Look at that.
Different, Jim. That's Monty in Philly. That's Jim Monty in Philly. Roger Nader, senior member of the brigade, holding it down in the Midwest. I believe he's in Indiana. JC from KC is from KC, but lives in Cleveland, and he looks damn good in that elf hat. That elf looks good on you, sir. I've worn it. It's okay. We got J. Dow Betts and Mrs. J. Dow Betts, another East Coast couple that are doing the BVB thing.
How about this? Indianapolis, Vegas, Arizona, Iowa, Illinois, North Carolina, Indiana, Virginia, Long Island, South Carolina, Ohio, Tennessee, West Virginia.
What the? That's all over the place. That's all over the place, son.
It's pretty cool.
That's what these people say. You guys are just Vegas guys. No, we're not just Vegas. We're living Vegas. We're worldwide. It's Mr. Cool. 305, Pitbull. He was Mr. 305, but we're Mr. 702 and everywhere else. Forget about
Oregon, Washington State, Colorado,
Eric
Pittsburgh.
Marzano, Daryl Stout, Chris D, Raider Nation, Nayshun. Congratulations, sir.
Travis is from from LA at Wager Wire headquarters.
Well, that's good. He should be there. Actually, we're going to see him in a couple weeks when they come here.
Yeah.
If they don't call us this time, they're out. That's it. No
we
pressure,
to beat
Travis. You're out.
They run too hard here. They run too fast.
Well, Vegas can get a hold of people and do some stranger things. So Maiden
Upside
Focus, horse guy who bad raps risk guys, but I don't mind that because most risk guys are kind of crazy. They don't get it.
North County, San Diego. Is that nice?
North County, nice, very nice.
Francisco, looking at every part of San Diego's nice. Like, what's not nice in San Diego? How are you mad living in San Diego? You have to be like the happiest person ever.
Traffic makes you mad. Traffic can make you mad. Nate S, BetSmart US, Tyler,
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Kyle Meyer, Francisco Ochoa, representing. Got the new hat. He's out in the California,
San Diego,
north part of town.
That's what I read. North County, San Diego.
Oh, that's where he's at.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was in Northern California. That's where Timmy
look at this.
Baseball, Double Nickels, and Big Irv Gotti are at doing their thing. Irv, we're going to play golf someday. I'm telling you, you got to keep moving, get your ass up and walking because you and I are going to go play 9 holes, if nothing else. We don't have to play 18.
Ante is here, Cleveland to Vegas, but then look at B squared bar down, Colorado heading to Boston to see the Bees. Going to watch the Bruins.
It's too early for the Boston Bruin bullshit. Seriously.
Oh no, we're starting that. We're starting that. It's the first thing.
That vibe.
It's the first vibe. It's the first topic of the day. Out of the gate, we're talking about the Bruins.
Marcelo Unda, Travis Geiger, Ante with 9 E's. Holy cow! The boys are all here. Are there any girls in the house? Please represent yourself. We had Lauren the better. Give us a nice shout out this morning on the retweet of the video.
Her first ever media appearance.
Show. I said, listen, everybody remembers their first. Everybody remembers their first, Lauren. I sent her a text. What, was that wrong? What are you talking about? What? Stop shaking your head.
Oh my. We're going down that we're going down that road on a Friday. All right.
It's Roll Call Friday. We got Zach sitting in there in some office already, got his shot all set up. He better bring the energy. I mean, he's got
energy. He's got energy. We know that.
Bring anything to us when he came to town, induct us for 2 days. It's unacceptable. I'm going to bury him when he gets on. I'm going to bury him. You come to town and you tell us you're coming, and then you say, "Oh, I can't make it."
Well, no, whoa, just to be fair, it wasn't all that. It was partly us and me, and like we were trying to coordinate, and they were going right, I was going left.
That's true. They were driving in different lanes.
So they were trying, they were going to the Vegas thing. I was going downtown. I went to Circa, see you, and we were trying to figure that whole coordination thing. So it's not all on them. It was just one of those things,
That's fine.
It's hard to coordinate at times when it's a Vegas trip.
It is. It is.
Matty, you can bring on Zach whenever you want if he's ready to go in the background.
Oh, is he ready?
He's in the green room, so we'll go ahead and go in. Yeah, the VG, they're liking that Vegas hat, Dave. The chat's enjoying the Vegas hat.
Oh,
there he is.
Whoa, there he is.
What is up, Zach? Dr. Wager Wire. What is up? Welcome to BVB.
What up? What up? Really happy to be on here, man, on a roll call Friday, too. And show $2.99. I didn't realize I was going to be on $2.99.
Yep.
Yeah,
Monday.
it's a big special show. First of all, before the people ask, I'll ask, is Doctor your last name, and are you a medical professional?
I only play one on TV, but yeah, it actually is my real last name. And, could have been Doctor, but instead went to start a sports betting company instead,
All right. We do our best to tell the folks what Wager Wire is, but it's a heck of a lot easier for you considering you are the one that started it and running it. So for those people who are just tuning in first time, what is Wager Wire? What are you guys doing, and what is coming down the pike for you?
Absolutely. So yeah, Wager Wire is a marketplace for active sports bets. So what we're building here really is going to be, StubHub for your bets. You could get a fair market price for your bet. You could think of it also as a way to cash out at a fair value instead of taking these cash out offers that the sports books are offering you that are total trash. So really what we're doing is bringing this marketplace into sports books that everyone already bets with. Like we're partnering with sportsbook operators so that you could sell your online and mobile bets on our platform. And then we've got a plug-in version of this too. So you'll be seeing over the next couple of years rolling out, sportsbooks will have this right inside their apps where you can actually now post your bet for sale and buy other people's bets and just create this whole, liquid marketplace around bets is what we're doing.
So it's both paper tickets and virtual tickets. So you can do it like you don't have to have a paper ticket now to kind of put your ticket up for sale on WagerWire.
That's right. I mean, actually, we're not even going to take paper tickets. The whole world is moving towards the online tickets. I think already nationwide, it's 90% of the volume. So what we've really set out to do is take this tech first approach for this. I know there are, this kind of does exist in the paper ticket world where you can sell your bet and mail it out to somebody. But, who's going to the post office these days? I don't go to the post office for much. Definitely not to go mail a bet ticket around. So what we set out to do is really figure out the way to do this for online bets. And, it's not as easy as it sounds to figure that out. Right. There's a lot of regulations you have to dig into. And then you got to, have a real tech first approach to it. So that's what me and my co-founders, Travis, who sounds like he's in the brigade today, doing the roll call as well. And my other co-founder, Guy. So we've been building this for a couple of years now, and then we're going to be rolling it out. It's starting to, it's going to come to fruition. People will start to see the app this year, and then we'll just keep trying to plug in more and more sports books over time.
Like right now that people can go and put their email address in to get updates, right?
That's right.
What's the timeline? Like when someone does that, what are you guys hoping for here in 2023?
So our app should be releasing this spring, pretty soon, pretty shortly. We actually submitted it to the App Store. We're kind of in that App Store purgatory right now, but it should be coming soon. So definitely encourage people, go to the website, wagerwire.com, plug in your email. Also, give us a follow on Twitter. We're real big on Twitter. We've got a good community out there. We're doing Twitter Spaces shows all the time. Would love to have you guys on one soon.
Yeah.
Where would they follow on Twitter, Zach? You got to drop that. These people listen, they're loyal. They're great people. They're not real good with the spelling or the memory. You got to give it to them like right away. Tell them where to follow you.
At WagerWire for the company, and then you got my at WagerWire CEO up there too. I see.
Yeah, that's for you individually, but the company at WagerWire, very
at
simple.
WagerWire, that's where most of the action happens. That's where we're hosting the shows from and everything like that. Yeah.
All right, so let's pretend that WagerWire is up in you guys. Someone could use it right now as we head towards the NCAA tournament. What types of things are you guys going to make available? Is it all going to be futures? Is it going to be individual games? Like what types of wagers will be available for purchase and/or shopping?
Yeah, so really any bet that our partner sportsbooks originate, we could trade on our site. I think futures and parlays, those are the real obvious stuff, right? You placed your bet early in the year. You predicted that Purdue was going to be really strong this year. Maybe you want to take some chips off the table now, make a little profit. It's basically like people could think of it as another way to not have to really hedge the same way they did before, right? Now if you have a really good future, you placed it earlier in the year, you've got that hedge equity and you can play off of that. But that's actually not super efficient way to do it, right? You got to put up more money onto these other bets. You got to kind of pick which teams to try to hedge on.
Right.
Plus, what if you sold a quarter of your bet, get all your initial money back, and then be able to play the rest of it risk-free? So you're going to actually be able to do like partial sales and fractional sales.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah.
So is this the part where Perrault, I did read the rundown. I did check everything, but is this the part where I asked Zach about UCLA being an actual team that could win the whole fucking thing? Oh, he got his own hats. The guy brought a hats too.
I'm not a big hat guy,
Zach.
but I had to do it.
With pride. Lean forward so the people can see what that
what
is.
is that? It's a Carolina?
It's a UCLA Bruins hat. It's just
that's a Bruins hat.
One. Yeah. It's a very old Bruins hat. So I stumped you guys, huh?
Tell me why you think the Bruins could block. Why wouldn't you sell a UCLA Bruins ticket to win the whole thing right now, Zeke?
Get out. I feel like we got a pretty good shot at it this year, but we were also favorites pretty early, or we were in the top team from the start. So you're probably not sitting on a ton of value on your futures if you put them on early in the season with the Bruins. We're kind of right where everyone thought we'd be. But yeah, I do think we're geared up to make a pretty big run. I mean, Arizona scares me a little bit tomorrow night, to be honest.
Saturday night, big game at the Pauley Pavilion. They're going to be.
What's that like what's that like, Zach? You guys are obviously have gone to UCLA, so you guys know the go to Pauley. I've never been there. Like, how fun is it to be there? Like, what's the atmosphere like?
Oh man, it's a hell of an atmosphere. Yeah, people will be lining up for a big game like this tomorrow. People will be lining up, way in advance, maybe even camping out tonight. I wouldn't be shocked. And then they actually revamped the whole stadium a couple years ago too, so it's nice, it's new. I think you can even drink beers in there nowadays too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that.
All right, why not? Let's go.
It's kind of rare on a college campus. They got a bar in there for alumni, I think. And yeah, it's a hell of an environment. I was hearing you haven't even been there, Dave, either. I thought I heard that the other day.
I have not been there. I've been meaning to get there. I almost wanted to get in the car last night and drive there to go watch them beat Arizona State. Turned out they won and covered. That was pretty easy. The game tomorrow, I will be a little bit busy. I had intentions of coming for the game tomorrow. Now that I know you're a big wig insider alumni guy, I'm going to come and just, find you and then get you to get me the tickets so I could walk into this supposed bar. But me and Perrault got to cover the UFC tomorrow. So we're going to be at the fights. So can't come. But are you coming to town anytime soon for the madness? Like what's Wager Wire got going on maybe for the madness?
Yeah, man, we got to get out there. I know we missed you last time. Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. You blamed it on us. That's okay. No problem. We're 15 to 20 minutes away from the strip, and with a little bit of a head in advance, we could make things work. So let's
make it happen next time. Yeah, absolutely.
100% make it happen.
We were playing a little text tag last time. Couldn't quite make it happen. Couldn't align the calendars.
It's Vegas.
It's Vegas. Yeah, we'll totally be there.
All right, but before we let you go, I want to talk a little bit about a future wager that kind of give people an example of what we're talking about here with Wager Wire, what you guys are going to be able to do. So you identified an email a text tweet from Ben Fox, who works for our friend at VSiN, and a bettor at Caesars made 2 future wagers on the Kings. Okay.
Right.
So this is for
Sacktown?
This. It's on Sacktown. $10,000 at 750 to 1 and $8,000 at 350 to 1.
Ooh, you got the hat for this, huh?
It's hat for everything. So that would be a combined investment of $18,000 with a $10.3 million return. That's the tweet from our friend Ben Fox.
Yeah.
I love that this guy backed it up. After putting 10 grand down at 750, he just doubles down on the 8K at 350. This guy is, not messing around.
Right.
So if you had that ticket, what could you do with it on WagerWire?
Yeah, so I mean that's a prime example, right? Now they've had a great start of the season. I actually went through. We're posting our bet value calculator onto our website just next week, and people will be able to go in and actually type in and find out what the value of their bet is. I plugged this in. This one right now would be worth over 100 grand on a fair market value. I don't know if they're offering this guy a cash out. I think it would be as high as 130 grand on a fair market value. Because now the odds have moved, right? They were 751 back then. Now they're,
Yeah.
I think 7,500 the last I saw at Caesars.
Mhm.
So on that exact bet, maybe you want to bank 25 grand of profit, sell a quarter of it, and then let the rest ride. Maybe you want to even sell more than that, depending. I don't know if you believe in the Kings, but they're having a hell of a year. So that's a pretty prime example. Obviously, that's a huge dollar signs on that thing, but
Yeah.
those are tough ones, right? What are you going to do? He's got all this hedge equity. He's got hundreds of thousands of dollars of like hedge equity, but is he going to go put that on the Bucks, the Celtics? Like, what are you really going to do? What if someone out of left field just ends up winning it, and then you didn't hedge on the right team? So
Yeah.
those are the exact kind of situations where being able to sell your bet is just going to open up all this new optionality, all these new strategies you could do.
Last one for me, Z. The chat is going crazy trying to figure out what kind of doctor you would actually be. And I know with the last name Doctor, you've been asked this question before. So I will ask you right now for the brigade because they're like Z, medicinal doctor, Z, other kind of doctor. Someone even threw in gynecologist. I don't know.
all right.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Okay.
This is an
What
amateur.
kind of doctor would you be, sir, if you could be an actual MD?
Oh man, that's a good question. I actually don't get that one that often. I'd be a sports doctor, obviously, right?
Oh, there we go.
I'd be the
Oh,
49ers doctor, that's what I want to
man.
do.
Is that
Yeah.
like Garnett jersey signed behind you?
Those are both signed behind me. Yeah.
Wow,
Garnett
he has
and
a
Kelly.
Wolves Garnett jersey and a Rice Niners jersey signed
Oh
behind
yeah,
him.
oh yeah. Well, the
So
Rice one, I mean, I grew up in the Bay Area. I actually went to high school with Jerry Rice Jr. and
Oh.
college because he came to UCLA. We were in the same class.
Oh,
So yeah, huge Niners, huge Jerry fan, and then Garnett's just the man. I mean, those T-Wolves years were so epic, and the jersey itself. I love the old T-Wolves.
Zach, go watch the Kevin Garnett Anything is Possible documentary. I just watched it, finished watching it last night. It is amazing. If you like Kevin Garnett, it's
No way.
amazing. And it's more Celtics bullshit for Matt. So that's
It is what it is.
Right.
Zach, give the website out again for folks that want to go drop their email in there to find out when you guys are going to launch the app.
Absolutely. Go to wagerwire.com, put in your email there, give us a follow on Twitter at wagerwire as well. And you're going to keep seeing us. We're doing these Friday market reports with BVB, so you can definitely keep following the story through BVB here as well. But we should be downloading the app in relatively short order, so it's an exciting time.
Awesome. Zach, thank you for the time, man. Have a good weekend. We'll talk soon, right?
See you, Doctor of Love.
Yeah.
That's Zach Doctor from WagerWire, CEO, joining us here on BVB on Roll Call Friday.
Hey,
What type of doctor would you be? You could pick.
that's easy.
What?
A psychiatrist.
Really?
Well, I mean, if I could pick, I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
am.
You could. I
already
didn't say
am.
what you do. I said what you would
Oh.
be. Well, you are a psychiatrist. That's true. People talk, pour their world out to you. That's true. But I'm saying if you could pick, what would you be for a doctor?
So, I mean, obviously, I'm the oldest of 5, and my mom had very, very high expectations and wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer. That's all I knew from when I was a young child.
Okay.
I'm going to be a doctor. And Dr. Bass, Dr. Lee Bass, an institution in Pittsburgh, was my pediatrician. And I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought if I was going to be a doctor, I was going to be a pediatrician because this guy was the first guy that, said, stick your tongue out, hit you in the knee, did all that stuff. And I just trusted him. So I think I would be a pediatrician. I couldn't handle all the stuff that came with it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with a sick kid. Sick kids, I couldn't deal. So if I could solve every kid I saw, awesome. If I was the healer for every child that walked through, yeah. But the ones I couldn't save, the ones that were too far along, the ones that had incurable stuff,
That's the hardest part. That's where I didn't even I would take it all too personal. I knew that as I was going into high school. I was like, I can't be a doctor. I'm going to take this shit personal. Somebody's going to die, and I'm going to not be able to. I'm going to be sick about it for weeks.
Dr. James Andrews has the best gig.
Fixing elbows
and knees.
Elbows and knees?
Yeah, of like elite athletes. Just, you're doing 4 or 5 surgeries a year. You just.
How about a foot doctor? Would you be a foot doctor?
I don't like feet. Like, women's feet are nice. I just don't get the fetish.
I
don't get the whole like wacko buying. I need to buy women's feet pictures and like I just don't understand it. It's gonna be hard to be a. I mean, we have daughters. I mean, the first guy that asks my daughter for a feet pic, I'm gonna literally go and hunt him down.
What kind of kids your daughter hanging out with? They know.
What do you mean? If they're on the internet, you know what our female compatriots deal with. Who work in the media?
Oh,
they get asked for all sorts of crazy questions. And
it's embarrassing. Gentlemen,
DMs and
listen. Don't ask them for any of that stuff. Like, be different, because that's what the regular goose are doing. Please don't be that guy. But
I don't know, Todd.
The gynecologist, delivering a baby.
No way. No,
those people are special.
I don't want to know what it really is meant to do. I don't want that part that would ruin it. I want to keep the mythical.
Oh man, I don't know. I was down there for all 3. I was amazed by it all.
No.
And listen, I got a nice one-on-one relationship with the first one, because Jess went through them periods where I thought she was an alien. I called this guy. I'm like, look, somebody got to come help me, because I ain't going to make it. Like, she's in the 3rd trimester and I ain't going to make it. I ain't going to see the kid, So those are special people, and they see life. Like, seeing life.
But like my mom's job, she's not a doctor, but my mom is a lactation consultant. So my mom sees the baby right after it's born. But my mom gets to do the fun stuff.
Those people.
That's what my mom does.
Angels. Are you serious?
Yeah. That's what I know more about breastfeeding than any man should ever know.
I learned a lot about it myself.
I know everything about it. It's insane.
We couldn't get the latch on to work.
Okay. Yep. Did you do nipple shields? Yeah.
I know everything. The lay sideways, the whole thing, and Jess felt like a failure because the baby wouldn't eat and all this.
Talking about psychiatrist, my mother's got to go through all of that. Yep, she does in-home visits. She goes, and all my female friends or friends who have wives who have children, the first thing I always say to them is that this is my mom's number. If you need to call her, she will gladly walk you through in a different way. Because sometimes you're talking to someone who's either rushing or you don't have a good relationship with the lactation consultant. And it's really important because women feel like failures if they don't get it done for whatever reason, that they feel like defeated, that they can't feed their own child. So
a child has just come literally out of their body, and then they're forced to say, "Hey, get on here and
latch on,"
and they ain't working. Then they're going through that postpartum, and it somehow became my fault. I was like, "What? Well, I didn't have nothing to do with this. Like, just put the kid on there, And those people are angels. Wow, that's just that is fun stuff, though.
So
she men that do that job?
Lactation consultant? Yeah, but I think women would feel rather uncomfortable about it if it was. Yeah. There are men who are lactation consultants, but it's a very select number.
I could do that job.
Of course. Yes. I
can do that job. Yes,
I can do that job too. Every guy can do that job. Yes. But my mother is very much like, she gets very angry with me because she thinks we sexualize breasts, and we sexualize to her. Those are, reproductive, feeding a child parts of the body.
Yep.
We see them as different. That's different. And yes, I am a breast guy. In case you're curious about the mental psychosis of the whole world. Yes, check that box. That's how we got there. I get you feet guys are going to say the same thing, because that's supposedly the reason why guy likes women's feet, is because something in the brain clicked early in life. There's I guess that part of the brain that likes feet is close to another receptor that gets crossed early, and then you like feet.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole foot fetish cult, but it's just because of where it is on the brain. Something happened younger in life that created that attraction to feet.
There is no chance, I mean, 0 chance, that if you told me we would be able to do a show 299 times and call it Bostonian versus the book, and 1, the fucking Bruins would win every single
game.
night, and 2, we would be talking about
lactation, not lactose, but same thought.
And boobs and feet and all this other shit. I would have lost everything. All of it would be gone.
But this is I don't know.
Shelly's here. Shelly's here.
Hey.
Hi, Shelly.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, that's what we do. It's how we roll. So you brought up the Bruins. We'll get to that before we get to Nick Kalakis for UFC 285 happening Saturday night on pay-per-view here in Vegas. The Bruins became the fastest team in the history of the NHL to reach 100 points last night. If you had the under in that game, I had the over. That was one of the worst beats I've seen in hockey in a long time. Did you see anything in the third period?
Nope.
Okay, so here's what happened. They entered the third period 3-0.
I saw that. And then
they played 15 minutes.
Okay.
15 of the 20 they played. The Bruins, they score, they go up 4-0.
Okay.
Power play Buffalo.
Sure.
Buffalo pulls the goalie.
What? How much time? Like 4 minutes.
4 minutes to go.
Of course.
Patrice Bergeron shoots from behind his own net,
empty netter,
into the net. 5-0. Okay.
Yep.
Bruins then they put the goalie back in. Bruins then down, still one man, 1 minute to go on the power play.
Right.
Another shorthanded goal for the Bruins.
They kept the net empty?
No, put the goalie back in.
And they scored a shorthanded goal?
2 shorthanded goals on one power play. Okay? It's now 6-0. We're not there yet. It's 6.5, right?
Boy, oh boy, I'm already aggravated. What happened?
Buffalo scores.
On the power play or
right after the power play is over, Buffalo scores.
Even strength goal.
Even strength goal. It's now 6-1. So maybe you laid 7. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. I'll get a push. I laid 7. Nope. The Bruins score with 2 minutes to go. They get a shot that goes between Luukkonen's legs. Scored 7-1 final.
You running good if you had over.
I had over. I had over.
You're
I had Bruins
good.
puck line and I had over.
Bruins puck line was never in doubt.
No, it was not.
But wow, it's a hell of a win there, sir.
7-1 final. And if you're on the under, you're just throwing your hands up. You're like, this is absolutely insanity.
Yeah.
Swayman was awesome last night. Awesome. Bruins scored 7 goals.
Don't you think this is what's happening? This is what happens. Competition begets competition. You
Right.
push each other. You
Yep.
make the team better. That's what we do here every day with the brigade. They're pushing us to be better every single day, pushing each other to just one-up each other, and all in the spirit of competition and making the whole better than the individual. That's life. I can't believe it. They went over again. I've switched to the bucket hat because I learned a new expression about a bucket, right? We told that story yesterday on the show, thanks to Arizari and Moose. Today, they were making fun of me for not knowing what a bucket was. The Bruins are a bucket.
They're a wagon.
I hate the wagon.
I love that term. I love the wagon.
Like
term.
the wagon?
I like the wagon term.
What's the show? The show's a bucket.
Oh,
BBB, bucket.
Yeah. It's a wagon too. It's both.
It's gonna be a wagon. We keep getting all these people in here.
It's phenomenal.
Roll call Friday. Let me just do it real quick because it's just after
all
11. Right. Yeah. Wait, we got a bunch of new people. We're up.
Okay.
Look at this number in the chat. It's blowing up. D Weezy, always here. Thank you, sir. Seabass, Sebastian Anthony, 90s hip hop with that bucket. LOL. You damn right. Matthew Bonvy. Another Matthew. Bonvy's back in
Canada.
In the chat. Yep,
up
in Canada. Jay Park, Roger, Chris Covey, Double C, Mr. C, big man. He's 6'5" and representing South Carolina, I believe, but he's a Red Sox guy. Loves the Red Sox and also a Penn State guy.
Nice.
Shelly, I believe, representing the only female. She came in just in time for the lactation
conversation.
Thank you, Shell. Yeah, we appreciate that.
The baby portion of the show.
4TW. Jordan Gorov almost hooked up with Gorov last night. I got something special for Gorov to represent the BVB. Put in a little request.
Kevin, I got 5.5. Did I lose? Did Northern Iowa be down by 5 at the half?
What?
I bet Northern Iowa in the first half.
Oh, all right.
What are they down by? What would they go?
I'll look.
Of course, 6.
6. There you go.
Bear mauling. Lost by a hook, man. Come on.
Akbar, my guy. That's it for now.
He's here for UFC. Relax. We got you. Son of a gun. So I'm 0-1. I started 0-1. I had Northern Iowa in the first half plus 5.5, and they lost by 6. Down by 6. Goodness gracious.
That shit. That's
Well,
okay.
hopefully that means I get a bounce back spot somewhere else.
Right.
It's been a very good couple of weeks. So I'm
Yes.
played, especially last night. Last night was very good on all of
You
that.
bet against Bradley?
Well, Northern Iowa. I told you the theory is the team that played last night. You bet the dog in the team who normally they're playing a lower seed, playing a higher seed. You bet the dog, take the points in the first half. It almost hit. It missed by the hook, but
okay.
It's 10.5 point line. They were down by 6. 5.5 was the first half line.
All right.
Jordan Poole goes off last night. The Warriors, Jordan Poole by himself outscored the Clippers in the third quarter. And the Warriors, as home dogs, housed the Clippers. What was that line last night? We talked about it yesterday, but how were the Warriors home dogs to the Clippers?
I don't know.
No
There's a lot of
Steph?
people saying a lot of stuff about this space, the content space, and like where the sharp money is and where the books are, and everybody
Yeah.
knows this and all this other stuff. Last night was a perfect example. Okay. Clippers -3. What? What? Clippers up at halftime. Paying any attention? A waterfall. By the way, Mikey, awesome. Hat tip to you.
Oh
sir.
my, we didn't even talk about that. That was
I mean,
I'm sitting at a stoplight. Okay. I'm at a stoplight and it's happening. And it's happening way too long. I'm getting pissed off. Madeline's in the back seat. She's like, when are we going to get to the store? I'm like, I don't know. So I'm just flipping through Twitter and I come across that Mikey Awesome TLC Dave Sharapan mashup. And I'm literally laughing out loud. The woman next to me thinks I'm insane. Madeline's like, what's so funny? And I have to explain to her what TLC is and what the song is and what you did for the sound effect. And she goes, why is he going blup, blup, blup? Like he's just doing a sound effect of what water sounds like. She goes, water sounds like blup, blup, blup. I'm like, yes, in our world, water sounds like blup, blup, blup.
yeah. And the bet ticker in the room used to say blip, 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 blip. And he put it to the music. But
so good.
But it's unreal. Where you see that's a miss. That's just a miss. Like the bookmakers, odds makers, sports books, professionals, rhombuses, parallelograms. Sometimes you miss.
Right.
They missed yesterday. What was that? That was the Warriors coming back again. Our boy Kevin Rogers from Vegas Insider put out a tweet today that said the Warriors have come back in their last 6 wins from 12, 18, 8.
Wow.
19, 15, something. It was all double digits except one game was 8 or 9. This is what the Warriors do, especially at home.
And the third quarter.
Third quarter's a dream.
They're still just in
Absolute dream.
Jordan Poole's going to make a lot of money when he gets signed next year. He's going to make maybe with the Warriors, but he'll make a lot of money. Kyrie and Luka finally looked like the matchup, the connection that the Mavericks were hoping for. They scored 82 points combined last night. Both of them go for 40.
Yes, they did.
Flash in the pan or something that might be worth watching.
Oh, I think they're figuring this shit out.
Okay.
You know, it took us multiple years of doing it once or 2 or 3 times a week to figure the shit out to get us to, pass it back and forth and hit the right shot, get it to the open man and know when to pass it off to the other guys too and sit down and let them do the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing all in 5 games. Like that was, I'm not worried about the Sixers. They are who they are, and they're going to kind of figure it out, and they still have to play the Celtics and the Bucks, and I don't know if they can beat them. But the Mavs actually showed me something last night.
Okay.
Started out really well, handled some adversity, a 15-0 run because they had the Sixers buried, and then figured it out at the end to put the gas pedal down and run with it. I like what the Mavs did. I don't know going forward what that means as far as like they don't play tonight.
No, but I mean, this was the connection and the question. Could Luka and Kyrie both have big games and be dominant performers with one basketball?
Yes.
Was it going to be alternating or could they both do it at the same time? So far, one game, but after seeing it once, meaning we might see it again, they both can be nuclear hot. I mean, they both hit 6 threes. I mean, they both were just hitting everything last night.
And that's going to happen some nights. Now, will that happen every night? Like, do I think,
No.
like, guys are coming in the chat, say Mavs are smoke and mirrors. A lot of people think that. They may be the 6th seed. that gets bounced in the first round. But if it's them in Sacramento, who's going to win that? What the hell's so funny? What'd you see?
This show is so good.
What happened?
They're now DMing me pictures of the women that got them in defeat.
Really? We got some feet guys in the crowd. We got some feet guys in the brigade.
He just sent me this picture. He goes, the feet thing is her fault. Catwoman from the
Catwoman.
60s.
No, Catwoman's a fault for a lot of things. That Catwoman in the 60s. I thought Batman was
you guys,
the guy.
You guys are too much, man. That's too good.
What was wrong with her?
Nothing. It's just funny that you guys are sending me pictures based upon the woman that made you a foot guy.
I mean, there's a bunch of them.
This show is too good. This is too fun. This is too fun.
We do got guys for everything, Gorov. You're right. We got guys for everything. He just put it in the chat.
It's true. We do. Yeah, it's amazing. All right. So before we get to Nikki, I want to get to this, what happened at the press conference yesterday for UFC 285 and just rant for a little bit on this. So most of you didn't see this because most people don't watch. The coolest thing about what the UFC does.
I was going to wear this at the beginning of the show, but you had on the one more sleep hat too. So because we
sent you a blue one. I like the blue a lot. That's nice.
That's nice. Yeah. Anik hooked us up with this.
That's nice.
John Anik, the guy that does the UFC, is a tremendous broadcaster, podcaster,
and brigade member.
Did our show. We had so much fun.
He watches the show. He tells me. He told me he watches the show. So
I already texted him this morning and said, I know you're in town. If you're in town and don't see me this time, we're in trouble. And I said, I'm going to be there on Saturday.
Yeah, you'll have a tough time seeing John. It's hard as hell to see. Like he's locked down for the whole.
I know.
He does every fight. He doesn't. It's amazing. He does 20 fights. He has to call 20 fights. He didn't leave his hotel room. One time I ever see him, I used to see him when he was in town because he'd stay at the Palms because of the connection with the Fertitas. And in the morning, I would set up for Pushing the Odds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he would come down on Friday morning before he had to go to the weigh-ins to place his bets for the college basketball, NBA, hockey games that he was going to bet on.
Right.
For the week, for either Friday or Saturday, whatever he's going to do. So I'd see him coming into the book and he'd pop in, say hi. We would talk for a little bit and then he'd go place the bet and he'd get out of there.
Right.
And I'd always be like, stay for the show. And he's like, I can't stay for the show. I got to get out of here. I got to be somewhere in 10 minutes. I'm just here to make a bet real fast and leave. Right. So that was always, he's so busy when he comes to town. It's like his time is so limited, but we could hopefully maybe bump in, say hi and walk past and say hello to him. But
one of my take him to lunch or something.
Right. Okay. So this happened. I don't know the young person's name. I apologize, but he works for BR Betting.
Mm-hmm.
And the UFC, I think it's brilliant. I wish more either boxing and or college football, college basketball, whatever. I love the crowd being there for the press conferences because the crowd reaction to the questions are awesome. I love when they get the reaction and just it's a whole different vibe to a press conference when there's a live studio audience there listening to your questions.
Yep.
But they stream it also. They put it on. So I'm watching the press conference last night and a guy stands up to John Jones and says to John Jones, John, you opened as the betting underdog. You were then bet to the favorite. Was it disrespectful for the books to open you up as an underdog? Jones says, well, I understand because, I've been off for a long time, but now they got it right. I should be the favorite in this fight. They know my career. They know what I've done. Obviously, people think I'm going to win. No problem with the question.
Right.
Decent question. It's a little bit on the gray area, but it's not horrible because people play the disrespect card all the time about the books disrespecting me and blah, blah, blah. So we've heard a lot of those.
Which, by the way, has nothing to do with the line. But
it doesn't. But the people play it off that way, right? Oh,
right.
I'm an underdog. Well, no, you're not, but fine. The second question is what I was left stunned.
And just for the record, I just checked 3 different places. He was never a dog. John Jones was never a dog at the places that I just checked.
Oh, funny. I didn't know that. He was always favored.
Yeah.
Huh.
Minus 140. Now it's minus 180 or 185.
Oh, it's up to 180 today. Oh, it's 170 this morning. So money's coming in on Jones already on a Friday. Okay. Yes. So Friday move. Guys come to town, drop in the bags. So his second question was, John, I have a parlay. For my parlay, will you guarantee a victory on Saturday night? And Jones looked at him and goes,
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? He said, are you a lock to win on Saturday night? And he looks at Dana White, he looks back and he says, I don't do a lot of the gambling, man. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to fight. I couldn't believe my ears.
Yeah.
Did somebody actually ask an athlete before their fight whether or not they would guarantee a lock for their bet? This is like in the DMs of athletes when we see the nonsense that bettors put to athletes about being, you couldn't even make one more catch, you suck because my parlay or my 5-team same game, whatever nonsense. This was in the flesh. This was face to face. We got to watch the method, the idiotic mind that thinks it's a right decision to ask an athlete in front of the world on camera, on stage, whether they're going to hit their parlay or not, whether they're guaranteeing victory. Someone sent me a DM and said, it's almost borderline illegal for Jon Jones to even answer that question. He's being asked a betting question. He's not saying, are you going to lose? But he's being asked to guarantee something's going to happen. And then if it doesn't happen, that could open up all sorts of other questions and issues. We can't do this, guys. If you want this to continue, if you want sports betting to be legal, if you want us to avoid major controversies and the politicians getting involved in putting their thumbs on the scale and affecting what's going on, you guys in the audience have to hold these people to account in the media and literally blast them publicly for this stuff. Because this is how we lose this.
Is this and again, this is my first credential experience with the media and the UFC. Is this like a pullable credential offense?
In my opinion, I don't know if the UFC, I don't know how they feel about BR betting. I don't know if they have a relationship or not.
I ain't trying to get them things pulled. I'm just curious. I'm asking a question. Like
if I was in charge, if I was Dana White, that's strike one. If it's the first time you've ever had this problem with this person, it's strike one. Hey man, you do that again, that's it. Okay, you do that again, I'm out. Like you're no longer welcome here. Like you get one strike on this. You get one shot to do this.
Right.
Because it puts everyone on notice when you ask that question. When you blatantly come out and say, I have a bet on you, Jon Jones. Will you guarantee me a victory? Will you guarantee that you're going to win?
So what's the defense to that, Perrault? Because now we got to check on everybody that gets a credential or gets to go to the press conference before they ask a question. Do you have a parlay? Do you bet? Do you
No, because they do bet. Everyone bets.
So you have to hold yourself accountable to not ask the question.
You can't ask an athlete about a betting market involving themselves. That's what I mean by the gray area of saying you were a dog and now you're the favorite. Like, it's okay to get into that because it's a big part of the sport. And I get it. People follow it, people watch it, and they use it as who's more likely to win, even though it's not really what the line is. They claim that it is. It's a bigger issue when it comes to asking them to guarantee something that involves themselves. So if he loses, then what? Oh, I'm guaranteeing a victory. Yeah, you're good, man. What if he said yes? When he goes, yeah, cash that ticket, man. You're good. I got you. You're trying to get a headline out of Jon Jones,
right?
Which could create problems for Jon Jones with the Nevada Gaming Control Board. We can't, as media members, we can't put athletes in this position. It is a mistake, and it could cause us all to be really screwed up in the media.
Not to mention, why would any athlete answer any questions after that?
Right.
Like now you got to be
careful.
You have to, you got to be careful as the athlete, but you have to be your immediate defense is not talking to anybody because I don't know what they're going to ask me. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be put on the spot.
Right.
Because
right.
You have
you say it all the time though, right? Separation church and state. It has to happen. Like, we don't want this. We don't want to have this be this. It can't be in our face. We can't have, I never want to get to a point where in a post-game fight, a question comes up and says, at one point in time, you guys were minus 400 live and you lost. What do you say to the people who lost money, who were laying minus 400 on you and you guys blew a huge lead? I never, ever want to get to that point where we're actually that intertwined with the gambling markets and the sport.
Listen, I tell you this all the time. I was in books for 20 years. Curacao goes back 25 years. Listen to people bitch about their bets or tell me what they liked or not. I'm not impressed with any of it. The athletes got way more things to worry about than somebody's damn bets, and they don't care at all. I don't mean one bit what your bets are. None of them do. I told you the story off the air, and I'll tell it again here. I was at the MLB Game 4 playoff game between the Giants and the Dodgers as a credentialed member of the media for MLB Network. And I went to the post game, which brought me back to my roots of doing that stuff when I was working for KDKA. And I was sitting next to LG and some other people and just watching. I just was like, oh, I remember what this was like. They got to get a couple sound bites and then they got to run and get it up on the news and all
Yeah.
this. And it's hard. It's hard work. And I mean, Roberts just won game 4. And the Giants came in first, and Buster Posey answered a couple questions and looked like he was mad as hell because like they got to go play game 5 and all this other stuff. And Dave Roberts said, we were underdogs. You know, and we're facing a lot of adversity, but we're underdogs and no one's giving us a chance. And I thought in my head, Dave, you ain't been underdogs but 6 times all season. You know, the Dodgers have not been a dog but 6 times all season. You've been favorites in this series. You're favored every day. And I was going to say, well, Dave, I mean, like, you know, I mean, in actuality, you were probably only favored, you know, underdog 6 times. I could have said it. And I was like,
Yep.
now's not the time. Ever is not the time. And what's the prerequisite now with a lot of people getting into the media? You have been 20 years.
Yeah, there isn't a prerequisite. You never know what someone's going to ask. There's been stupider, you know, worse questions asked in press conferences than that one. Yes. I'm obviously, and it's not even a story. Most people just brushed past it and didn't care. Like I would say 95% of the people in that room brushed past it and didn't care. It's just that we're in the space and this is what we do. And this is sort of like, I don't know, like a investigator seeing something that other people don't, because we're in tune to what the markets and what we're talking about every day. Right. We know the legalization fight. We know how long it took to get to this point. And we also know there's people who want to roll it back, who want to have more and more examples to use in court cases or in lawmaking to say, this is out of control. Look what's happening. We can't allow this stuff to go on. You can't do these deals. You can't credential BR betting to a sporting event. And we want to pass laws that say, hey, by the way, if you're running a professional sports event, you can't credential a sports gambling website. Because I'll tell you, the UFC didn't want to credential me. After I left radio for 20 years doing Pushing the Odds, I was doing sports gambling radio. I went to a website that was sports betting, and they said, you cannot cover our sport.
Right.
And I went, what? And they said, we don't credential sports gambling websites. And I was literally stunned for 6 months.
You were mad, man.
I was furious.
I know.
And I couldn't understand it. I was like, why wouldn't you credential me doing a sports gambling radio show, but sports gambling website? I can't. I won't be credentialed. So I didn't go to events for 6 months. And they finally, thanks to Nick Kalakis, who he says he's good to go. He sent an email, but I don't know if he knows how to do the link, Matt. I don't know if Nick is aware of hitting the link or not. I emailed him back. Okay. Hit the link. Come on in. But Nick talks to some people. We talked to some people. We back-channeled it, and we got it taken care of. And now we're credentialed, and now we're both going to the fights on Saturday night. But that could be a problem for anybody in the sports betting space.
A lot of times, it's just new people getting a position and don't.
This guy's not new, though. This guy's been sitting next to Mattress Mac. He's gone to the World Series. I've seen this kid.
I'm saying the credentialing people, like about the thing.
Yeah, sometimes.
Someone maybe getting the job doesn't know you. I think we have to, you're right, both as a space and as individuals, hold yourself accountable, and always, just in life, think about the other person's position one time and go, I shouldn't ask John Jones this question right now in front of all these people. He doesn't care. Why should I? You know,
right.
that was a selfish move. That's the
of course. It's a clickbait question. You're trying
and those are the things that, I mean, that's not just UFC, that's in general. When you see that, you're like, stop. What are you doing?
Of course, you know? But it's a problem in the space because of where we are with the gambling.
It's too close. You're right.
It's on the screen. We have odds on the screen. Like we have these conversations going on. Anik is great. Anik bets. Anik understands it. He talks about the odds during the broadcast. I love it because he knows it. He can talk about it intelligently. And, you know, it's information, but it can't be posed to the athletes. You can't ask John Jones to guarantee you your parlay is going to hit. You just can't do that. It puts him in an unwinnable situation because they're not supposed to know. Now, do they? Of course they know, but they're not supposed to pay attention to it.
I mean, a lot of them don't pay attention to it either. I think more don't than do. I think some people, it's a very small number of people that pay attention to odds and look at that underdog, all that. You're worried about your job. You're
Right.
worried about winning and losing games. And
Or
then you're
fights.
worried about taking care of your family and everything else.
Right.
You're not worried about the odds. Who is worried about the odds is our boy Nick Kalakis, who's looks like he's ready to go in a green room.
Go ahead, Farra. You can throw him up whenever you're set with him. Go ahead and
looks
put our
good.
guy
He got a
up.
nice hat on. And we'll
he's
talk to him about odds and numbers.
Home office. Oh, look at this. One Mr. Nick Kalakis, Circa Sports, joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Happy Friday, Nick. How are you?
Thank you, fellas. Glad to join you as always.
Good
Listen,
to see you, sir.
I'm taking Dave to the fight tomorrow night. We're going and covering this for USA 285. We're all fired up. This card's awesome. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on some of these fights, but just overall, what are you guys expecting from an action perspective down at Circa?
Sick. It's crazy already. We're getting a lot of requests for over the limit bets. We have a lot of new people coming in, opening accounts just to bet on UFC 285. It's insane. The handle's off the charts already. So I'm expecting this to be one of the biggest handles overall that we've had since I've been at Circa.
Nikki, first of all, good to see you, brother. We'll be getting together soon here after this calm settles down after March, because March is such a busy month in the book. This is a busy card, and we'll get to the Jones fight in a second. What are the other fights? We got a bunch of people in here that follow us and watch the show. What fights should people be watching at or looking at from just one, an entertainment spot, but two, maybe like a little silent little thing maybe that they could look at aside? I'm not asking you to give picks. I know you don't do that. But what fights are we looking at below the main event that you're like going, this is going to be good, this is going to be good, this you should watch?
Well, first of all, I do give picks, but you have to check out UFC On the Line, of course. Or
Tell them where to find you, Nicky. Tell them.
Or the Gambler's Perspective podcast,
Nice
both
job.
on UFC Fight Pass. So
Nice job.
My official picks are available on those spots there.
Excellent.
But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of people that maybe are unknown about some of the other fights on this card. Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov is one right there. If you're looking at the price, Rakhmonov is minus 400, minus 500 out there against a legit contender in Jeff Neal. You don't see that price too often with a solid fighter on the other side. That fight's going to be fireworks because you're getting Shavkat Rakhmonov getting tested by a legit fighter this time around. So there's high expectations coming in for him, potential champion, right? And now we're getting him again with a legit test in front of him. If he goes out there and destroys Jeff Neal, man, this guy is definitely on the right path to get that eventual title shot. So it's Jeff Neal versus Rakhmonov for me. There's all sorts of fights. Even the co-main event, I should say, the title fight between Shevchenko and Grasso is going to be a really good one too. I think it's going to be far more competitive than the current line indicates.
That line is minus 840, Nikki. What the hell are you talking about? That's going to be a competitive fight. Are you serious?
Grasso's tough.
Yeah, well, you're getting the pound-for-pound GOAT, I think, in the female division, which is Shevchenko, right? I know a lot of people will argue it's Nunes. Nunes has a couple wins against Shevchenko, but in my opinion, still, the size matters a little bit. Shevchenko's just a better quality fighter. So if you're getting the best female fighter on the planet, you're always going to have a high tax or have to pay a high tax in that situation, right? But I still think that a lot of times those lines are a little bit too high or a little bit too much, and we're getting these contenders out there, these challengers that are ready for the part. And I think Grasso's improved so much that she can be competitive in this spot for sure.
Brunson Duplessis, what do you make? I mean, the card's stacked. It's top to bottom. There's so many good fights. Brunson's a fighter that we've seen headline events. Duplessis is the guy who's coming up. Obviously, he's a talented fighter. The UFC sees big things for him. What do you make of that fight?
That's another one that's kind of a head scratcher because we know Brunson is kind of a gatekeeper at this point, right? If you can get by Derek Brunson, then you're on your way to a title shot as well. That's how good that guy is. His wrestling's off the charts. Duplessis on the other side of it, though, man, he's coming off a pretty solid win. The destruction of Darren Till, which you don't see happen all that often, right? But Duplessis is still one of these guys that there's a little bit of a head scratcher with him because of his conditioning, his cardio. He does seem to kind of fade as the fight goes on. He's a little wild, a little aggressive. but he does, no matter what. It seems like he could go 5 rounds if he needed to, even if he fights tired. So this guy's a special talent as well. He's got the finishing ability on the ground or on the feet. So this is a good spot for him to kind of get in here, get a quality win over Derek Brunson, and then prove himself that he's a legit contender as well.
Nikki, every day we do this show, and we have tremendous guys and girls in the chat telling us stuff. Jay Park just came in and said Neil missed weight.
Oh,
by 4 pounds.
Oh,
what the hell happens in the book, Nikki? Tell them what a headache this has just become, not just for you, but for everyone else that has bets. What's the procedure? What happens in the book when a guy misses weight on the day before the fight?
Well, it all depends, because sometimes that will react different ways, meaning that if a fighter misses weight, a lot of times they're going to think, oh, that fighter's out of shape. He's not taking the camp serious. We're going to fade this fighter and go the other way, right? So you do see some action come against that side. But in a situation like this as well, sometimes that extra weight can help you. So if that person's maybe purposely, not making weight, trying to kind of overexert himself to get that extra couple pounds off, I mean, that could be an advantage as well. So we see it going both ways. For me, though, personally, I mean, I welcome some of the favorite money, because we have some sharp action hitting that Neil side at circa. If you could see right now where we're at, the line is kind of relatively low. We're at minus 425 on Rakhmonov, where the market out there is closer to 500. So we've taken some sharp, heavy action on the underdog. So we're going to kind of let this sit here, because I know the action is going to come in back on the favorite here with straight bets and, of course, parlays as well. So for us, we're actually in a good spot taking that early dog money, because the favorite money is going to come now for sure.
4 pounds basically means he quit hours before weighing in.
Yep.
He just said he just said forget it. So it may have been intentional.
Both of you, is the fight canceled?
No, he loses 20%. No, he loses 20% of his purse automatically to the other fighter.
Right. It's up. Usually it's up to the other fighter and their camps, right? If they decide, okay, this guy's 4 pounds over, you still want to take the fight. And a lot of times these guys are warriors. They're not going to deny the fight or say, oh, no, we're not taking the fight. But they do get more money because their opponent missed weight. Right.
Yeah. So it's a financial penalty for missing weight. And it's a professional thing too. I mean, it's just if you're a pro fighter, you don't miss weight by 4 pounds. That's so much that it almost feels intentional that Neil has done that. Cody Garbrandt's on this card. Cody Garbrandt, when I moved to Vegas, Cody Garbrandt was one of the first fighters I ever interviewed. So I've been a fan of his for a long time. He's lost 4 or 5 fights. This is his comeback tour here. Do you feel, how much does Cody have left in the tank? Obviously, the right hand is what everyone knows him for. I don't know much about Trevin Jones, but I just know that he's coming off of 3 straight losses. So is this a way of building up Cody Garbrandt to get him back into the minds of UFC fans, or is this his last fight with the company?
That's kind of what the scenario is. You're right. If he loses this fight, he's probably going to get cut and released from the roster. Jones was actually off the roster, and he got brought back to replace a fighter coming into this spot here too as well. So he's getting another shot. Like you said, he's lost a few fights as well. So this is a situation where both of these guys desperately need to win. But of course, Garbrandt, you're talking about not too long ago. I mean, the guy was a champion, right? So it's a shame, because it is his chin that's letting him down in these fights. He gets in these firefights and he just can't absorb the punishment. But offensively, the talent is there. It always has been. So that's what you're getting with Garbrandt. If his chin holds up, he's going to beat most of these guys, right? But the issue here for me is, man, Jones, if he could do anything, he could crack, right? So Jones is one of those fighters that could possibly come in here, and even if he's losing the fight, just laying on that chin and get Garbrandt out of here. So for me, I wouldn't touch this fight. I would stay away from it. It's probably going to be exciting, and there's probably going to be a finish either way. But Garbrandt desperately needs a win. He's obviously the higher caliber fighter as far as even, roster space, whatever. If he gets back on track and gets his act together and starts being a little bit more consistent, he could potentially get another title shot, right? That's how popular this guy is and how talented he is. But if he loses this fight, he could very well be looking for a job at the PFL or Bellator, honestly.
Divorce could cause problems. Divorce is tough.
Nikki, a lot of people, we've had you on the show before, and a lot of people that like to bet UFC love the parlays. They love the favorite parlays. We started just a couple days ago a little money line favorite parlay in the NBA
later today,
and this guy loves it. And plus, he loves to involve anything Boston because they win every day too. Is this a chalk money line parlay thing here? This card. I mean, when you look at some of these, do you just string 3 or 4 together and go, okay, and then they shoot them through and you got to check them for approval and you go, holy shit, what are you people doing?
It happens all the time. Yeah, especially in a card like this. You're going to have all the chalky favorites parlayed into stuff with, like you said, with the Boston sports teams. Those are popular teams right now. I mean, they're winning. They're successful. So, yeah, you'll see a lot of Celtics parlays. Of course, Bruins parlays coming in there with UFC fights. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of this. And honestly, most of these favorites, chalky favorites, should obviously come through as well. So you're in a safe spot if you want to add, like, Bo Nickel, for example. I mean, you're not going to get much value left. I mean, I opened at minus 1,900. The market was around minus 1,500. But yeah, he's not going to lose that fight, man.
Minus 2,200 now on him. But he says he wants to headline. So like when a guy is this heavy of a favorite, he's a 3-time national championship wrestler. Tons of buzz on the underground. You put him on a pay-per-view card. He's the first fight on the pay-per-view night, trying to bump him up. He says he's going to be the first fighter to headline a card at Allegiant Stadium. That's what he thinks of himself from a projection standpoint. What do you make of him? Is he going to be a superstar here for the company?
Yes, I really do believe he is going to be a superstar. He's just, his demeanor, when you meet him in person and when you talk to him, it's so calm, so professional. He's almost got that cocky arrogance about him, right? But for a good reason, man. I mean, this guy, he's getting fast tracked for the right reasons as well, because his wrestling's off the charts, his submission game. He's a sponge. He's absorbing. It's not just the All-American caliber national titles that comes to the table, what he brings from the wrestling aspect. When he's in the gym, he's absorbing all the jiu-jitsu. He's absorbing the striking. He's picking everything up like a sponge. This guy is improving in all areas of the game right now. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, you put him in there. I know it might sound a little bit too soon, but stylistically, you put him in there with a guy like Adesanya. You put him in there with a guy like Perrault, the champion right now. This guy's a bad matchup for those guys. He gets him down to the ground. He can't have a lot of success. So already you can see this guy being a problem for some of the champions or title contenders, towards the top stylistically. So yes, this guy is the part. I mean, he knows kind of where he's at. That's what I like about him as well. Meaning that his confidence and his arrogance, I mean, he could possibly fill that stadium if he gets to that point, right? He just needs to keep on the right track and keep on rolling off these wins and getting these finishes early on, and not maybe getting more than he could chew right away, right? So the UFC's doing a good job, I think, setting him up with the right opponents right now. Then they will give him that challenge that he needs to get over that top.
Last one for me, Nikki, before we let you go, because I know you got to get down there and get the shift put in and all this other stuff you got to do. And hopefully we'll see you on Saturday if you can get over to the joint. John Jones and Gone is the main event. I learned that when somebody's really good at something this week, I learned they're called a bucket. Okay. And that's why I got the bucket hat on. And I know you know all about the old Cool J from back in the day when he wore the bucket. Is Jones a bucket? Is he gonna is this done? Is this like, I mean, because they're betting this thing. Who in the hell knows what you're gonna close this thing? Because it just keeps going up. It opened, I just checked the line history at the joint, 40. It's up to 80. It's going to be $2 at some point tomorrow until somebody comes in. It's done, right? It's Jones. That's it. Done?
Nah, I don't think so. Jones? Are you kidding me? Look, I understand the narrative. I know that this guy, I mean, one of the greatest of all times. There's no doubt about it. Look at his record. Look who he's beaten, right? And that only blemish is from a DQ, for crying out loud. So this guy is an undefeated fighter like Khabib. So he's in that upper echelon. He is GOAT caliber status, whatever you want to call him. Okay. But if you look back at his last several fights, this guy has not been performing as a GOAT, meaning that to me, he looks like he's a kind of a declined fighter. I mean, a lot of people might say, look, he's not motivated. He's kind of been running through the division for a long time. So what's his motivation? That's why he wasn't performing at his peak. I'm not so sure about that. I don't trust my visual that I've seen in his last few fights. And if you go back looking at the guys that he's beaten, like even Dominic Reyes in his last fight, by the way, I had a bet on Dominic Reyes around plus 400. That should have cashed. That was a point flip type of fight, man. So, but again, let me just say this. I'm not intentionally trying to fade John Jones. If there's a matchup that I think is going to give him a problem, then I think there's some value there. And that's exactly what I thought with Reyes, and it worked out that way. Now, this is another spot. Gone, I think he's a tougher matchup than Reyes was, right? If you look at Anthony Smith, all these guys that John Jones has beat as of late, Gone's another level, man, and he's a heavyweight. So there's a lot of question marks coming in here. Again, all of us want to see John Jones at his prime. We want to see him go in here and basically dominate and prove to the world that he's the greatest heavyweight now on the roster, right? Or in the world, because a lot of people, if Gane goes out there, here's another side issue. I'm getting off track a little bit, but a lot of people are going to think that if Gane wins this fight and Gane beat him, he's not the real champion, right? But that fight was close as well, right? Just a little tweak or two, Gane could have beat Ngannou as well. He lost that fight legitly, but it was relatively a coin flip type of fight as well. So a lot of people, the narrative is going to be, oh, Ngannou's still the true champion if he wins this fight. If Jones wins the fight, then a lot of people are going to believe he is the rightful champion, especially if he goes out there and really dominates on the ground like a lot of people think he might be able to do, right? So everything is lining up for Jones needing this win, getting the win. It's going to be great for the company, of course, because, again, he's that star, huge star, whatnot. But even if he doesn't pull this fight off, I think Gane's level of respect is going to climb. But you're always going to have that in the back of people's minds saying, hey, I mean, he lost to Ngannou. Is he the real champion? So the narrative I don't like. I think the real champion coming out of this will be the number one fighter in the world in the heavyweight division, no matter what. Ngannou chose to leave the UFC. I think the guy's a beast. I'm disappointed that he did so. But with all that being said, the winner here is going to be the number one fighter. And I think Gane has a legit shot to pull this off.
So I agree. And I'm going to let this thing run to see how much plus money we see coming back on it. But the other market that I'm curious to get your take on before I let you go is the total rounds. It's 4.5 for a heavyweight fight. This is rare. We rarely ever see a 4.5 championship fight or not.
Over minus 150 too, Perrault.
Okay. So this is a rare number in terms. Normally, heavyweight championships, heavyweight fights in general have 1.5 to 2.5 from a round perspective, 5 or not. This is juiced to the over at 4.5. 2 of the last 3 fights for Cyril Gane have gone inside the distance. Derek Lewis knocked him out. Tuivasa knocked him out. The Ngannou fight went to the cards where he lost it. Average fight time for Gane is 16 minutes. Average fight time for Jones at light heavyweight was 15 minutes. Does this fight really go into the 4th round? Are we really seeing this thing go all the way, maybe to the cards as a heavyweight championship fight?
I think we can, yes.
Wow.
Because I think the way that Gane goes about fighting, right? He's not really the guy coming after the knockout right away. He doesn't have that one punch, destroy you type of power like an Ngannou does, right? So he's more of a point fighter, pick your spots, be precise, accurate, and then the knockout will come with accumulation of shots, as the fight progresses. So Jones is tough enough to probably basically get outpointed on the feet, take a little bit of damage, but maybe not get knocked out, if that makes sense, right? So if Gane wins this fight, I think he probably does win by decision more so than KO as it goes. Now, the only question mark is how dominant Jon Jones will be on the ground if he does get this fight to the ground. I think that's where it goes under. So it's almost correlated for me personally, Jon Jones and under, Gane and over. So with that said, does the price seem right with Jon Jones? The favorites, or the total saying it's going over, right? Over 4.5 rounds. So this line is not correlated properly, in my opinion, a little bit. This line should be a little bit tighter. That tells you something as well, right? But I do think that this has a shot. Even Jon Jones maybe not getting the finish on the ground. There's another way he could win, obviously, inside the distance, which would be on the scorecards as well. Maybe grinding out against the cage, getting a takedown with Gane getting back up. We could see it kind of playing out that way as well. So it could hit the cards. I think more than likely this does go all 5, and it's going to be a competitive decision.
Do we know much about Gane's ability to prevent submissions? He's never been submitted in the UFC. I mean, if it goes to the ground, does Jon Jones win by submission?
He definitely has a definitive advantage on the ground, even in submissions. But here's the thing. I think Gane's ground game is a lot better than everybody realizes, a lot better than people think as well. Not just the takedown defense, but his jiu-jitsu awareness as well. So I don't think it's going to be an easy submission victory for Jon Jones. I think maybe if he gets positioned and he's able to land some ground and pound and stuff like that, maybe get, flip Gane to his back and maybe sink in a choke or something like that. But Jones definitely has a submission advantage. I just don't think it's as big as everybody thinks on the ground.
LL Cool J said, Mama said knock you out.
Not
Nikki, you knocked it out the park today. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to see you. We'll be getting together very, very soon.
Enjoy the fights, my friend. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Nick
it. Have fun at the
Kalakis
fights.
at Fight Odds on Twitter from Circa Sports joining us here on BVB.
Man,
How
oh, man.
about that?
What
We could have
the
a
hell?
UFC grappling heavyweight championship fight.
Completely.
Crowd's going to hate it. Crowd's going to absolutely hate it.
Oh, is this
Crowd's
really
gonna
be one of
hate it.
those? Oh no! Don't say that, people.
This is a heavyweight championship fight. The crowd wants to see knockouts. They want to see striking. They don't want to see a grappling with 265-pound men. No way. That would be wild. This thing spends the majority of the time on the ground. It's fun to watch little guys grapple. Big guys grappling is a little like, hippopotamuses rolling around in the mud. That's no fun.
I can't wait to be, because like at home, you can just get up,
Totally
and go to the
different
bathroom, go
totally
get something
different
to
vibe.
eat. When you're at the arena, that
Oh, yeah.
energy, like if you've ever been at a boring boxing match, what I have been.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I went to Floyd fights before Floyd was Floyd. Like, I was still living in Arizona, and they would fly me up and say, "Please take these tickets and go to see this guy fight," because nobody was
No one
going
wants to,
at the
right.
beginning. And I remember going, and I appreciate boxing, so I was happy to be there. But a lot of people that paid for tickets, like, boo, nothing was happening. Do you get that vibe in the building when they're getting mad about just two guys being on the ground, rolling around, or holding somebody still for a minute?
They get mad. I don't get mad, but they get mad. They get really mad. They get furious.
How
So
many tabs you got open right now? 12 and a half over.
I got an email that just stunned me. So that's why it was an email that we've been expecting. You and I have been expecting, and I got it, and I just got it. So it kind of stunned me. I was reading
Not
it.
from the ex-wife, is it?
No,
Okay,
it's a
sure.
business email that that you and I have been expecting that kind of made me go stunned. So
Oh, from the
yeah.
guy.
From the guy, yeah.
Oh,
our guy.
boy.
So our guy
All
on
right.
Friday afternoon finally decided to
Well,
yeah.
they had to get a lot of work done between
Yeah.
now.
All right. Let's get to the NBA parlay before we get rid of our sports grid friends and say goodbye to them because they weren't going to want this. If you're new, we were picking an NBA moneyline parlay.
I didn't even look yet. Oh,
and we're going to roll certain number 2, 3, 4, 5, however we're going to do it. We didn't do it yesterday because the card stunk. Card's better today.
terrible.
We went $20 to $40, $40 to $80, $80 parlay coming up. It could be any odds we want to roll into. All right.
Yep.
Moneyline parlay, 2 bets or more on this. Boston is now favored by 11 points against the Nets.
Do we
I'm
have
assuming,
to use the Celtics? I mean,
Nope.
seriously.
Nope, you don't have to.
Well, no, we can. I mean, they're
I'm just
going to
asking
win.
you.
They're going to
Okay.
win.
Well, then don't we want to use them then?
It's fine. I mean, they're going to because I mean, secretly, a lot of people in the chat, then, they're rooting against Boston.
That's
part
fine.
of the show. But
But
I don't want them rooting against it if we're going to put it in a parlay.
Well,
We
they
gotta
can.
root for it.
Well, they're going to bet this, so they're going to trail this. So we got
All
to
right.
be
What
accurate.
else? What other games? What other games are you looking at?
For big favorites,
What's
okay,
in the glass today on a Friday? What is in that glass?
it's always Gatorade, always.
That's just Gatorade?
Looks like moonshine, though.
That's what I'm saying. A lot you drink it out of the jar, and
Well,
a lot of people
I'm drinking out of
ask
the
me,
jar
like,
because
what
I
does
can't-
Perrault have in there.
I can't knock this over.
Listen,
This gets knocked over. This thing gets knocked and it spills all in my lap.
you've done that before.
This thing can't get knocked over. It's got some weight to it, so I can hit it and it's no big deal. So it's good. So I can, when my hands are flying around, I can hit it and it's no big deal. All right, so the Kings are laying 310 against the Clippers
At home. Okay, that might make the list. Okay.
Nobody's probably playing. Hawks are laying 320 to the Trailblazers.
Hawks laying
At home.
320 to the Trailblazers. Okay.
Nuggets are $2 at home to the Grizz.
Oh my. I got the Nuggets.
I have a bet on this game.
I like the Nuggets today. And that
You know-
game, why
you
is
know
it
the
only 5?
Thank you.
The hell's wrong with that?
I don't understand it either.
I don't understand.
They're 28-4 straight up at home.
At home, and it's only 5.
And a half now.
Listen, the odds makers make mistakes too. That's got to
Okay.
be a play.
Okay, good.
Coming down 4.5.
I don't get it.
Well, yesterday they played the Sixers because Embiid was playing. How'd that work out? They
Right.
took 4 and they took it off the board and they kept hammering it, and they didn't cover, so they lose 2. Who else?
Celtics. Warriors are laying 190 to the Pelicans at home.
That's a little scary. No,
Yep.
I don't know if I want that one on a
Kings-
back-to-back.
I think Kings are a little scary too, personally. But
Right
Suns are minus 162 against the Bulls.
on the road
Mm-hmm.
might be a gift. A little
Katie's
short,
playing, right? Katie's playing, right?
as far as I know. Damn, this is an interesting card today. This is tough. This is tough.
Uh-huh. So if you did a Suns, Celtics, Nuggets moneyline parlay, it's plus 185.
Suns, Celtics, Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
What if we do? You did not involve Atlanta.
I have not, but we can replace one of them.
Nuggets, Celtics, Kings. Guys, in the chat, watching the show right now, big number of you watching the show. Come with your 3 teams. Use the city codes.
What city
Don't
codes?
type Celts. Boss, B-O-S.
Okay.
3 letters. Boss, B-O-S. Phoenix, P-H-X. Give me your 3-game parlay. Sacktown, Sacramento on a back-to-back for the Clippers. I think they need to be part of a general principle play. No, as part of it.
The Kings?
Celtics, Kings, and Hawks. Those are the 3 biggest favorites, though, right?
Yeah. Celtics, Kings, Hawks is a plus 104. I don't mind it. That's Trista loves the Kings. Laura loves the Hawks. And the Celtics are going to kill the Nets. Celtics beat the Nets by 48 points at home last time they played them.
The Celtics are winning tonight.
Okay.
That's in. I mean, that's the anchor of it.
Yeah.
We have to put that in there. Do you want to get dangerous? I mean, do you want to live dangerously? Do you want to pick a short favorite?
No, I don't want to live dangerously.
I mean,
the Kings make me nervous. I'm just going to be honest.
OKC's beating Utah, just for the record. 1 point.
Wow.
Yeah. OKC's winning. Better to book it there. If I say OKC, better to book it. You doing it? What are you doing?
Booking it.
Money line. You think Utah wins on the road? You're wrong.
I just don't trust OKC ever.
You're wrong. That's okay.
Hold on. I need to see what OKC's home record is now.
Boston, Sacramento, and Atlanta.
So
Orlando, Boston, Denver. Orlando for Marcelo.
By the way, Utah is 11-19 straight up on the road, and Oklahoma City is 17-15
at home.
No thanks. At home. No thanks.
So give me the road record again.
Utah's straight up road record is 11-19.
That's bad. That's
horrible. And OKC is 17-15.
A winning record at home. So why don't you want OKC?
Because I don't trust either one of them. 17-15 is not outstanding. It's one game over 500.
Yeah, but look at their last 6 to 10 home games. I think they've won 7 of them.
Who?
OKC.
So, Mr. Sharapan, home Lakers loss, home Sacramento loss, home Sacramento loss, home New Orleans loss. They've
last 4 games straight.
They're 1-4 straight up over their last 4 games.
What they do before that?
They beat Houston.
Yeah.
They beat Houston. The last 2 road wins have been against Houston.
I'm not worried about OKC on the road. They're playing at home.
No, at home, their last 2 wins at home were against the Houston Rockets.
Right.
On 2-15. No, OKC's at home, Dave.
I know. That's what I said. I'm worried about what they're doing at home. You said on the road they are.
Sorry. Yeah. So at home, Lakers, Sacramento, all losses. Played Houston, beat Houston. Home for New Orleans, lost to New Orleans. Home for Houston, beat Houston. Home for the Warriors, lost to the Warriors. That's from the 30th of January to now. I'm not trusting them.
Bobby said SGA was out for all those games.
Fair. I still don't trust them.
The Knicks play tonight. How have we not mentioned the Knicks? The Knicks are 3-point favorites at Miami. Who came with the Knicks? Caleb Mabry.
Gary.
Geez, that's a little nerve-wracking there.
Yeah,
I don't
on
know
the
if I want
road.
the Knicks involved in this. You want the Knicks involved in this?
No.
FYI, Bradley's on a major upset alert.
Dang it. You should have bet the full game. That's too bad. What's Northern Iowa? What's the score?
You want to know?
Well, I didn't bet it, so I don't really care. If they're going to lose. If they're going to, the Valley's going to lose, then that's going to be, let's see. Oh my, 59-58. Look at Ben Jacobson working. How about that? Going to bounce the top seed.
4:30 left in the second half.
Down by 1.
58 Bradley. Yeah.
Love it.
Minus 430 on a money line.
Love it. Who is Bradley?
Yeah.
They're minus 430?
430.
Oh, take Northern Iowa.
Up
Oh,
1 with 4.5 minutes to go.
take Northern Iowa right now. That's value. That's big value. Take Northern Iowa. Hell yeah. Ben Jacobson in tournament settings. The guy's a wizard. Phenomenal coach.
All right, let's just think this one through here. We'll come up with something. What's next on the rundown?
So Boston, Atlanta, Denver is the current leader in the clubhouse.
Boston, Atlanta, Denver. Okay.
Home teams, all decent favorites, all minus $2, basically, minus 194 Denver.
You feel
Boston.
better about Sacramento than Atlanta?
I'm nervous about the Clippers. Like, I'm just nervous about.
Look at their last 4 games? What are you worried about?
It's just who plays. Like they don't play their full complement of players. They're bad. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. Sacramento's really good at home.
Yeah.
Sacramento is 18-12 at home, straight up.
Money's coming in against Phoenix and Chicago.
Yeah, it's driving it down.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I took the Suns out.
Right.
Because the Suns are on my other parlay on Friday, on the Friday parlay.
Oh, the Friday parlay? Don't
better
do
to
a
book it.
parlay?
Yeah, but that's, Lakers, Charlotte, Atlanta. Perrault, what is going on with you? That's
He said Lakers, Charlotte, Atlanta.
yeah.
Charlotte's a dog.
I know.
He's not paying attention to the show.
Yes, he is. He's doing it for fun.
What the hell, John? What are you doing?
It doesn't have Sonic. There are no rules for this. There are no rules of this parlay. We can do whatever we want. There's no rules. Number of teams, how big, dogs favorite, doesn't matter. It's just we're taking $80 and betting it. And then if we win, we'll bet it again on Monday. Whatever that money is, if we turn 80 into 120 or 160 or 210, whatever it is, we're taking that number and betting it again. The only rule is we're betting the full amount, no matter on whatever odds we want to bet. We're just trying to win. Doesn't matter if it's dog money, if it's 2-teamer, 5-teamer, doesn't matter. Just trying to hit a parlay. Moneyline parlay. Boston, Denver, Sacramento is definitely a decent bet, Whitrock. That's
okay.
Atlanta in there as well. I like Celtics and Nuggets. Atlanta is my question.
Boston, Denver, Sacramento.
Let's see what that is. Boston, Denver, Sacramento is plus 134. We good with that?
That gets us closer to the number faster.
What number?
Plus 134 gets us.
I'm not trying to get 10,000.
No, we're just trying to turn this into a dime. That was the first goal.
Right.
Let's just turn this into a dime.
Right, $80.
Yeah. It's only taking 4 more bets, just so you know. It's only going to take by this time next week.
Yeah.
This will be we'll have a dime.
We'll see. All right, let's go to the one hockey game that you're wearing, Vegas and the New Jersey Devils. Who do you like tonight? New Jersey is the best road team in hockey. Vegas at home has been very good.
This is going to be a good hockey game. You surprised? You surprised that the number is what it is?
It's lower than I thought. I thought I thought the Devils would be a bigger favorite.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No. I guess I just don't.
You don't buy the Devils?
I mean, the game should be pick 'em. I put up minus 110. Oh, South Point, Chrissy put up minus 110 both ways. That's perfect. That's my number. Oh, Circa's at minus 110 as well. Okay. Now we're there.
So is FanDuel, same thing.
Yeah, that's the number. I don't know who's going to win. I honestly, I don't know. I like under.
I like New Jersey. Yeah, under most likely, but Jersey's scoring.
I know, right?
That's I looked at betting this, and it kept me off of it because what New Jersey's doing. They're scoring.
What do we do with the
they're coming off of a 7-5 win over the Avalanche. They beat the Flyers 7-0. They beat the Kings 4-3.
Right.
Like they're scoring. Like it's betting an under with the Devils is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like anything about this.
Fun game though.
Hell of a fun game.
I got offered tickets to it, but I'm going to the weigh-ins instead.
Weigh-ins at 4:30.
Yeah. You know what time it's going to end? Weigh-ins are at 4.
4 o'clock till 4:30.
No. No. They never start on time. They always go, and they always are. It's a pain in the neck to get in. They always start late. It says 4, probably would start at 4:45. Get over at 5:36. Have to turn around, go all the way back here, grab Madeline, go all the way back. No, too chaotic.
I mean,
said
you're
no.
right there.
I know I'm right there, but it's just too much. I said, thanks. I passed on them.
Right.
Just too much. Go to the fight tomorrow night. Get me down. I don't want to be in that building back-to-back nights. Because Saturday is such a long day. It's so fun, but it's such a long day.
Right.
4 to 1, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. It's a long day.
Whew.
It's a long day.
I'm leaning Devils. If
So
I gotta pick a side.
I like the Devils too.
Yeah.
All right, let's do better to book it.
Yep.
First bet, Indiana State laying 2.5 against Belmont in the Missouri Valley Conference. This game will take place right after Northern Iowa takes on Bradley. Indiana State, the Sycamores are red hot, 9-1 over their last 10 ATS. They're 16-5 in conference. Belmont is 11-8-1, 4-5-1 over their last 10. Belmont beat Indiana State on the 22nd of February at home by 1. They were laying 2.5 in that game, didn't cover. ISU played yesterday. They annihilated Evansville. They have a game under their belt, as we're seeing with Northern Iowa. It matters when you've played on the court before. Easier to get momentum rolling in the right direction. Sycamores, -2.5. Betting into booking it.
Bet it.
Yes.
Yeah. I think bet it.
So my NBA play, which I never bet overnight NBA, but I did bet this one. The Denver Nuggets are 21-10-1 ATS at home. Memphis is 10-19-1. They're 14-21-1 against the West. Yes, they've covered 3 games in a row, but that's the Rockets, the Lakers, and they beat Denver at home by 18 points last week. Revenge spot for the Nuggets. They're 28-4 straight up. I laid 5.5. Number went to 5 this morning and then bounced back up to 5.5 just a little while ago.
Yep.
Betting it or booking it.
Somebody not playing?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, Big Honey plays every home game. He always plays.
Right. I like Denver. Oh, there goes they moved the Sacramento line. Is Sacramento in the parlay?
It can be, yeah.
Sacramento's in the parlay. Put it in now because
right.
It's going up. They're jacking this thing up. They're watching the show. Guys, thank you again for watching the show on Roll Call Friday. We talked about the money line parlay. Now you can move the number. Move the damn number. Go ahead and do it. They're doing it. It's 8.5, 9. Here it goes. Look. Okay. Look, that's it. Boom. 3 times. 3 people right now from 8 to 8.5, 8.5 to 9 to circa. Guys,
Celtics.
Really appreciate you. Celtics, Clippers,
Nuggets.
Nuggets, and
Kings.
1 early, 2 late.
80 buggy. So that's okay. So on that, it's same, right? Yeah. Okay. We'll turn it into 100. It'll turn it into $187.
Oh, man, Bear Mullings just sent a text and said, enjoy the fights tomorrow.
It's
atmosphere at that building's during a big pay-per-view card is otherworldly.
Yep.
And then he put in his request for the intern. He wants to be our intern, and we get an intern credential in with us as well. So I don't know if you want to take off both days of work for that, if you're allowed to, Bear. And plus, you got to text me what you want for the lid. You got a lid coming, sir. You know, custom lid. So base color.
I mean, shoot, if we turn this into a dime, I'll buy 20 hats. I'll just buy hats with it. We'll buy everybody hats.
We'll start giving them out.
Yeah.
And I just sent 2 out this morning. A couple requests I sent out 2. I was at the post office. She goes, boy, Dave, you sent out a bunch of hats a lot recently. Is the show growing? I said, oh, you have no idea. I said, you have no idea. This is great. I'm going to hopefully see you at least once a week for the rest of the spring because we're going to set this thing up where you can make your request and get your hat made.
Yeah.
As long as the kid keeps doing it.
All right. One more parlay to give you.
Yep.
Celtics minus 10.5. Suns minus 5.5. Hurricanes
Going
puck
too
line.
fast. Hold on. Celtics minus 10.5 points. Okay.
Yep.
Suns minus 5.5 points. You don't have to lay that now. You can lay 3.5.
I know, but I bet it overnight. I bet.
Oh, you already put this in. Okay,
Yes.
go
This
ahead.
This is the Friday don't bet parlay.
Fair.
Celtics minus 10.5. Suns minus 5.5.
Yep.
Hurricanes puck line plus 648.
Hurricanes puck line.
Against the
Hold
Coyotes on the road.
please. They're down in Arizona tonight.
And they just
We
lost.
got a busy weekend. Otherwise, we could go right down there. Go to the mullet and pick up.
They
some
just lost to the Knights 3-2.
They're going to win tonight.
They've lost 3 of 4. They are mad, but when they were hot, they went 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1 tonight. Hurricanes
Locked down. Damn, son.
The Suns might get
what
me.
Gets you?
Suns.
Does it?
Well, why is that number going down? Well, it's at 3.5 now.
No, they're wrong half the time they do it. They bet the Sixers yesterday. Butchie the bookie was texting me. This Embiid's playing, blah, blah. And I said yesterday on the show, I don't give a shit if he's playing or not. They're going to lose. That worked out okay for the book. This might work out okay for us. Damn it. Hurricanes puck line, huh?
Can't do it. Won't qualify if you do the money line.
Yeah, I felt much better about it on the money line.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching, guys, you want to play the money line. You don't have to because it's just my own stupid rules.
It still pays okay if you use the money line, right?
It's like 450.
4.5 to 1. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm worried about that one. That feels like that's a low scoring game. The Hurricanes are perfectly content with playing a game where they score 4 and hold the other team to 1.
Right. That's what I mean. That's why I thought about betting the under, but the Coyotes also can give up 1,000 goals at home.
True.
They're a horrible hockey team.
True. You're right. All
So,
right. I'll book that one. Obviously, I do it every week.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
We do this parlay thing, and occasionally you hit it, but most of the time
I need to hit one.
2 out of 3.
So one thing I'm not hot in. I'm not hot with the parlays. I'm hitting everything else, but I'm not hot with parlays. College basketball's been good. Hockey's been great. Parlays have not. Sports Grid, have a phenomenal weekend. Thank you for being a part.
Hopefully you guys. Text. Are we done?
Yes, we got the text.
Sports Grid.
Sports Grid. Yes, we'll do everything about today on the other side. For you guys who are live on Twitter and who are live on YouTube, don't move. Monday, show number 300. Be with us on Sports Grid. Have a great weekend, everybody. If you guys live on YouTube and Twitter, don't move. All right. Favorite thing about today is what?
$2.99.
Yeah.
$2.99. The video that Farra did. Now that we're off Sports Grid and we ain't got no time, Farra, if you want to cue it up and put it on for the people that haven't seen it, we got a nice crowd here. I mean, that's hat tip, standing ovation, whatever you want to call it. 2 takeaways from that is, one, we've done a pretty good job of getting people on the show, and we really appreciate everybody that's come on the show and will continue to come on the show, because I think most of the people that have come on have gone, those guys are pretty cool. Like in this brigade thing, they're interacting, they see the chat. It's
By the way,
fun.
just breaking news.
Breaking news.
John Jones weighed in at 248. Cyril Gahn 247.5.
Okay. Is
That's
that good?
I mean, that's really interesting. So I thought John Jones would come in way heavier.
He's going to be heavier. You told me that.
No, heavyweights don't cut weight.
Yeah, but he's going to guarantee he weighs what, 5 to 10 pounds more tomorrow?
No,
No?
heavyweights don't gas up.
Okay.
They don't cut weight. There's no benefit. Heavyweights can be any weight except 267 or higher. They got to be
Okay.
under 265. So he's
he's
20
carrying
pounds.
the right weight. That's all right.
He's 20 pounds lower, but so is Cyril Gahn. They both weighed the same, which is fascinating to me that they weighed the same. That means Cyril, they want to see what he weighed against the Ngannou fight if he weighed that much, because that seems light for a heavyweight. Man,
Either
that fight's
way,
gonna...
before you continue talking about weight, the two things take away from the video is one, the people that have been on the show, and two, the amount of laughing that we've done.
Seriously, right?
Like seriously, like
Yeah.
it's an absolute joy when you're having one of those days and then you come in, you enjoy the show. Or personally, we're having one of those days, and we both had some of those days where we come on and we go, "Whoa, this is good!" Like, thank God I get to do this show, and thank God we got so many people here watching the show. So, the amount of laughter, and then the other best thing about today is that this is the end of reading week.
Oh my, you too, huh? Oh
yeah. So we've had reading week. Yesterday was Tacky Tourist Day. Dress up like Tacky Tourist, and Kendall said, "I'm not doing that because I got nothing tacky." I'm like, this kid knows. But today was Friday. Guess what today was at school? Wear a hat day.
Any hat?
Any hat.
That's great.
Wear a hat day. And I was joking with her last night. I said, "Do you want me to bring all the BVB hats to school tomorrow, and the kids can all put one on, and we'll have the whole classroom
That'll be cool.
of BVB hats, because I have a lot of prototypes made like this, and I have a bunch of them." And she's like, "No, I'm not wearing a BVB hat for hat day." She took it very serious.
What'd she wear?
Picked out the perfect crisp hat that she likes. She wore all the brown, and she wore the LA Dodger model, beige brown model with the black stuff working up top. And I watched the care and the excitement and thought that she put into wearing the hat. And I thought, what the fuck have I done? This kid cares about her hat game as much or more than me. These kids know everything. It was absolutely amazing. So that was a lot of fun already today.
Be thankful you weren't with me, because Madeline went to school yesterday. It was dress up as your favorite character in a book day.
That was Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Thursday. It was Thursday yesterday.
Yeah.
I had to send my daughter to school with a Yankee hat on. It was a really hard deal.
Who's your favorite character?
The Annabelle from the Percy Jackson's novels.
What?
Annabelle wears a Yankee hat. She's from New York. So I had to stomach my own daughter. That's why there's no pictures. Didn't mention it. Nothing.
Oh.
She gave it to a kid. She was walking out and she gave it to a kid right in front of me. She's like, "Here." She just gave the hat away. I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "I appreciate it."
Didn't even bring it home?
Didn't bring it home. Just handed it. Goodbye. It was great. It was like, "See you later." It's like exactly where that goes. She's like, "I'm sorry." So I know you didn't want me to do it, but she was like, I had to wear it just for the day. I was like, "That's fine." So it was all good. So yeah. So we're done. Couple of quick ones before we let everybody go on this. Josina Anderson is reporting that the Dolphins are open to all options at quarterback, including moving on from Tua.
Of course.
So, well, that's hello. I mean, moving on from Tua is wow. My favorite thing about today is this is why moving to Vegas for me was so cool. Like the things that because when I moved here, the Golden Knights weren't here yet.
Right.
Raiders weren't here yet.
Right.
T-Mobile was built, but the Knights hadn't moved in yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have Allegiant Stadium. The UFC is what we had. And coming in and going to the events and being a part of watching an event where the world watches Vegas. Like when we're watching sporting events and we're watching this press conference yesterday, Madeline was watching it with me, and they're doing all of the sky shots of Vegas. Yeah. And she looks at me and she's like, "We live in a pretty cool city." And I was like, "Yeah, we really do."
Yeah.
And these are the events that reminds me of like the places I used to live and how I would dream about watching on TV.
Oh,
And I'd be sitting in Alabama or Virginia or Nebraska or Iowa or New Hampshire and like all these places that I have lived that have nothing like this.
Did you say Connecticut? I didn't hear you.
I never lived in Connecticut. Monday night, Joyce and Vinny, my Connecticut aunt and uncle, we're going to dinner. They're here. They're coming to Vegas for one night. Like, so I will have Connecticut stories come Tuesday.
Oh God.
Tuesday's going to be fun.
Oh,
I get to go ahead and tell you all about what Connecticut is all about.
Oh,
my family from Connecticut will
might
come
have
in.
to come meet these people.
My Uncle Vinny married me. My Uncle Vinny is the dad I never had. I looked up to him for years and years and years. He's just an incredible person. My aunt is a saint, literally. Like, she's unbelievable.
I 100% am going to have to come by.
Oh, you should come down. Yeah, you should meet them.
Yeah.
Joyce and Vinny are the best people I've ever met, and they shaped me for every summer. They knew I was having a tough childhood. Every summer, they took me for 2 weeks, and I spent a ton of time going to Playland in New York, Rye, New York. If you guys know the movie Big, where he goes on the boardwalk.
These are the people.
These are the people. These are the people who raised me in a lot of ways. How I got really. I was into golf, but then Vinny really got me into golf. Just meet these people. Saviors of my youth.
Yeah.
And they've never been to Vegas. First time ever coming to Vegas. So they're in California right now for the weekend. They're gonna come before they fly back. They're gonna stop. They're gonna drive to Vegas, stay here, and then fly back out of Vegas. So we're gonna go. They're staying at the Venetian, and so we're gonna go to dinner at the Venetian on Monday night. So I am very excited to see them, but it is my Connecticut roots people that I'll have stories on Tuesday. So we'll be able to rip Connecticut even more coming up on Tuesday. Guys, thank you for being here on Roll Call Friday. This has been a ton of fun. This is always an awesome day. Big thank you to Zach Doctor from Wager Wire and Nick Kalakis from Circa Sports. Yep. Fights are going to be a ton of fun. Here's the thing, okay? Dave's going to be with me. I will be in the Discord channel chat on Saturday night during the fight. Okay, so if you're watching UFC 285, Dave and I will be up in the crow's nest where the media sits at T-Mobile. He'll be next to me. So
are we allowed to do a Twitter Spaces while we're up there?
Well, you really can't. It's so loud you can't even hear.
Oh, okay. You won't be able to hear nothing. Okay,
yeah, we can step outside in the hallway and potentially do it, but it's better to be on the Discord channel and do a Discord channel chat conversation just with text on the Discord channel, posting pictures, sticking questions, and whatever live betting opportunities and however we go, because we'll be ahead of the feed, so we'll be able to tell people if they want a live bet coming up for that. So that'll happen tomorrow night during the fights. Prelims, not the early, but the prelims in the main card. We'll be there in person to watch UFC 285. Farra, good job today, man. Nice job with both double guests. That's great. Dave, Matt, thank you for being here, Brigade.
300 on Monday. 300.
I'm not showing my abs. 300 Monday.